This is EA Sports. EGA Tour coverage coming up next. Today we're here at Paracel Storm, located in the South China Sea. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. Frank, looks like a bit of a war zone out there.
Interesting layout, Rich. 18 par threes ahead of us, and well, we're going to have to negotiate ourselves around there, hopefully with radio control, and we can fire when we're ready.
One of the most unusual courses in the world. Players hitting across islands, over buildings, and off an aircraft carrier. You couldn't ask for much more.
This is not for the faint of heart.
All right, Frank, here we go on the first hole, set for, dare I say, takeoff from this aircraft carrier.
Well, that's right, Rich. You really got to make sure that you get the right flight on this shot coming in, because you want it to land soft on this opening hole. It's 186 yards to the middle of the green. Obviously, there's those palms and trees to the left of this green that have to be avoided in a course. You don't want a beach on the right.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, I can't believe he found the cup on that one.
Clean up on aisle 5.
Now to the second hole, and Frank, I'd be happy to see something with just the normal amount of obstacles, say, or a bunker, maybe a pond. Those would be rather benign compared to what we're seeing right here on this second hole.
Yeah, that's no love shack. That's a guard shack there on the right of the screen, just past that bridge. So this green well protected on that right side. Of course, water adorns this island green, and tons of well, local fauna around the green. This is one green you do not want to miss.
Frank, this golf course is surrounded by water, just a few tiny islands strung together to create these 18 super cool looking par threes.
Yes, Rich, and with all that water comes a lot of lost balls. When this base was still active, many of the soldiers would play the course in the tee box. They'd just get backed up really quickly. It was so bad that they created a local rule for balls in the water. So if you hit your ball in the water, you do what they've always done. You just drop one up next to the green and you take a stroke penalty. Pretty good rule.
Well, how about this start? Birdie to open the round.
So this is an interesting tee shot as that destroyer continues to burn.
Amazing that play still continues. Birdie try up next.
You know what's better than 2 birdies in a row?
What's that?
3. That's what he's going for.
That's a turkey in bowling, isn't it?
He's no turkey.
This one has a chance, and he has it. Beautiful putt. And think about what you're saying here. I've called golf with you for a long time, Frank, and at bunkers and water hazards. You're talking about solar panels and guard towers. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm starting to go crazy calling this game, Rich. Might have to go into solitary if this keeps up.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That's well played, and now a good look at birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Drops another birdie and moves to 4 under on the day. Now the par 3 fifth, and Frank, what can you tell us about this hole?
This green is guarded by the burning destroyer on the left, but that beach area on the right, you're going to need scuba gear if you go on there, so no chance really of making par or getting that ball up and down. Palm trees on the left side of this green. There is a nice little avenue, but if you're creative, a nice little draw here would be perfect.
That should be pretty good right there, on the safe side. And so the approach shot finishes up some 25 feet from the hole.
Yeah, not his best, but certainly not his worst. Rich, I'm starting to lose count. This is just birdie after birdie.
It's all-time stuff. I mean, this is territory we just don't visit very often. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
This would give him the par. No problem at all. Good putt, and stays at 4 under par. Up to the 6th tee, Frank, and we're back against that destroyer. You need to take it over that small island.
Yeah, this is a little village too, and remember the double greens at St. Andrews? Well, this is a split double green. It's shared in amongst the village. The green on the right, very, very small. So this a very lengthy par 3. It's going to be a case of really ready aim driver for some. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. In the thick stuff.
Thick, it's brutal out there.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. And he's made it onto the green now. So they'll tap in. Did the job right there. The 7th, and Frank, this is, to say the least, a dangerous hole.
You've got to hit it across that retaining wall, or that protective barrier to stop the sand and the enemy coming in. Really, the green sets up nicely for the tee shot, but be wary. There might just be a minefield out there.
and it makes the green in regulation. And getting ready for the putt. Kind of a tricky read.
It's no snack though.
Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple.
Now for the round. Now to the 8th hole, Frank, you really just need to follow the trail down.
The biggest problem in front of you, they're just short and left of this par 3 green. For the very observant, though, they'll notice a little one-on-one, perhaps a little basketball court just along the left side.
A little three-point shooting contest, you and I later on.
This is a par 3.
Uh-oh, this one's going left, Frank. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Aw, do that! Frank finishing up now the front side in what so far has been a pretty heroic mission.
There is a green down this end there, but you miss it on the right. There's the trenches, and of course, even further right is that seawall that provides a fortress for the beach on that right side. But the green, fortunately, inland and away from the trouble. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
Frank, in golf, as we know, there's short grass and there's long grass. We all want to be in that short grass, but it doesn't always work out that way. So what's the most important element from the shot, from the rough?
You have to be a little bit more conservative first and foremost, because you can't guarantee a perfect strike out of the long grass. So therefore you have to look around the greens, maybe short, to the right, to the left, and realize what's involved. And also just give yourself a slightly bigger target. Another good swing, another good approach shot.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. 3 under on the day. Really flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting on all cylinders at the top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie.
Now it's that sneaky distance.
Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Clean this up with a tap. Nice par to remain 3 under. The 11th hole here at Paracel Storm in the South China Sea. What a day it's been playing through these wrecked battleships with all of the obstacles out there. You see the windmills, and now just a short shot, Frank.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. So a tester from 4 feet. That is a solid par putt. Frank, this is a daunting tee shot, isn't it?
This has to be hit perfectly.
See a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Frank, this ball's in the rough. You like to hinge just a little bit quicker on the takeaway when the ball is down like this?
No, when it's down, you've just got to make sure that you wind up almost like you're hitting a tee shot. This is not one to be dallied with. You've got to hit it powerfully. And you really have to focus on that club getting through the grass, past the ball, and out the other side.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Here we are now at the 13th, and Frank, this is a stout-looking hole.
Rich, it certainly is. No time to be superstitious on number 13. The trenches, they protect the back and the right of this green. Anything left of that, time to call in the Navy.
Look out left.
And there's rough over there.
How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck.
He'll need to be strong with this.
Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on.
Just a little tap in here. Frank, now at the 14th, and really a simple objective here.
It looks like an old sand dune where they've just put a green on top, rather benign. It might just sneak up on you, though. It really just looks like green and beaches with a few palm trees behind, but beware.
Frank, this one's headed way right.
And rough trees, all sorts of problems on that right side.
Still some work to do here at the par 3, Frank.
Yeah, you'd think there with the size of that green, this green would be an easy one to hit, but that's irrelevant now. Let's see if he can get it up and down.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That's how you make. Now to the 15th hole. Danger in the center of the green here, Frank.
Yeah, chance to ambush the player, really. All those trees, you never know what's going to jump out of there. And, well, we've seen the 6th hole at Riviera with the bunker in the middle. We now have a crop of trees.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Good chance here. How about that? 4 under par. And just take a look out at the battleships burning, the solar panels, the bridges, the barracks. You know you're not at your dad's country club anymore. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Stacking them and racking them. Well, Frank, it always seems to come down to this: your work on the putting green.
And there's so many things to consider, but first and foremost, speed. If you hit a putt firm, it's going to take less break. You hit it soft, it's going to take more break.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, that's a formality now. Well, Rich, if he can make this one, add it to that string of birdies.
And generating some momentum now. Well, this is impressive now. 6 under par and 2 straight birdies. Now the finishing hole, Frank, and just a spectacular looking hole.
Yeah, chance to complete our mission. Should we succeed here at 18? If anything, you want to keep the ball a little left of the flag. Otherwise, we're off the beach.
That will be a great look at birdie.
Second shot.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, with a solid game plan and executed.
And consequently, a very solid round. Continuing with that kind of play can certainly put you in the winner's seat.